Hey guys, Gina here. I wanted to just bring you along as we get our pumpkins ready for preservation. They've cured and they're ready to go. What we're going to be doing is cutting them in half and taking the seeds out, and we're going to save those seeds. Some will be saved for planting and some we're going to roast. And then we're going to roast the meat of these pumpkins, and then, excuse the cat, and then that is going to be made into a puree, and then we're going to bag it up and we're going to send it over to some friends of ours, and they're going to process it in their freeze dryer. I went blank for a second. So I wanted to have that on hand. Now those butternut squash back there, you could just as well do that with them as well, but I'm going to be cooking those also came from our friends as well. So the first thing we need to do though is to wash these guys, to pop off these tops and give them a good wash. And I cannot find my gimbal. Look at that, pop right on off. I can't find my gimbal, so just bear with me. I apologize for that. But I'm gonna put my phone down and I'm gonna take these over to the sink and give them a good wash. Of course, you know pumpkins grow on the ground, so even though they've been curing for a couple of weeks, there's no telling what was possibly on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those washed. They're already washed, ready to go. Got my knife and I have my spoon and my bowl to scoop out my seeds. Okay, so there's our seeds. And this stringy stuff that's on the inside, you want to pull that out too. You don't want that in your puree. I'm going to have to scrape a little bit more. But I did two varieties of pumpkins. One was baby bear and the other was sweet pie or some type of pie. And I'm assuming this is the baby bear one. But you'll see how much meat there is actually only to use with this particular variety. So I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna cut the bigger ones because even the outside looks different. So, and we'll see what how much meat is in those. Okay, Ty just got finished playing Tetris to get all of these arranged on here, so we wouldn't have to get another baking tray. So we're gonna put these in the oven for we're gonna put these in the oven on 350. How long they go depends on the size. So our smaller ones here, like this one and this one, these two here will probably be done in about 30 minutes. So I'll check at about 30 minutes. These larger halves are probably going to take 45 to, I'd say, an hour and a half even. So I'm going to just start checking at the 30-minute mark and then check like every 15 minutes 15-minute intervals. This is something I've never done, and I don't want to ruin the harvest, so I'm just going to stay on top of that. Oh, some videos do say to brush with oil. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be using these, if I'm going to be using it to make goods for the public, or am I going to be using it just for us? So I want this to be as neutral as possible with just pumpkin. So I have not added salt, I have not added oil. This is just the pumpkin, and this is a non-stick baking sheet. We are 30 minutes in, and one of the recipes that I saw said that the skin should be tender enough to be able to poke with a fork. So on these smaller ones, let's just see. I mean, I could poke it, but I don't. It's not pushing through as I'm having to put a good bit of force, and it's not going all the way through. So I'm gonna let this go another 15 minutes, come back and check again. Okay, so we are ready now. I just did a test before putting on the camera, and the fork goes right in on that one. This one here is a little bit thicker. Let's see. Oh, same there. And these guys, oh yeah, still got a while. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get those. Check that one back there. Yeah, they're all the same size. So yeah. So those 4 halves from the 2 smaller pumpkins, I'm gonna go ahead and use my husband's grill spatula to scoop those out. I'm gonna put them in a another pan and just have them go ahead and start cooling. And then these guys, I don't even think I'm 15 minutes. I'm gonna put it on a 30-minute timer and come back because they're pretty firm. In retrospect, I thought I should flip that over so that heat can actually escape, and so I did. And you can see right here on this particular one how loose the skin is. Like, it's just gonna peel off. So once these get a little bit cooler, I don't want them to get like cold, but once they're cooler and they're easier to handle, I'll go ahead and get the skin peeled off and get our puree into a mixing bowl. Okay, so we are at an hour and a half total cooking time now, and we're done. All right, let's get these out. Okay, so our first batch that we pulled out, the smaller batch, is done, and so it's done cooling. They are manageable now. And so what we're going to do is, I really wish I could find my gimbal, but I can't. So I'm just going to show you one-handed how easily this is going to scoop out. All right, and into our bowl. And so I actually would probably prefer to just pull the skin off like that. Do it like that instead. Yeah, let's do it like that. And then I can scrape that to get any extra. Da, 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 da. Oh, chickens would probably love that. So as you can see, it's coming off quite smoothly. Let me see if I can just flip this over in there. I hate when I lose stuff, you know, so annoyed. And for me, I've usually not really lost it. Well, not in the grand scheme of things. I've just put it out. I put it up too well. Alright, and so that's from the first half there. And if you wanted to, you could go back and scrape that. I'm probably just going to give it to the chickens. And we'll go on, so on and so forth, until we get done. And then we'll make a puree. Alright, Jared has decided to give plain pumpkin a taste. Actually, it's been roasted, so those sugars have been marinated a little bit.
I just realized it's plain pumpkin.
It's plain pumpkin.
This isn't sweet.
No.
What did I do?
Oh, you agreed.
I agreed to it.
Let's see it.
All right.
Well,
go. Here I go. Oh, good. Free.
It's delicious, isn't it? Yum.
Oh.
So we are very thankful to have friends that have a Harvest Right freeze dryer and are willing to use it for us to help us preserve our harvest. What they did was they took the puree and spread it into the trays and then put those trays into their freezer overnight. The next morning, they then took those trays and put them into the Harvest Right. The Harvest Right ran for about 40 hours before the process was complete. Then we just took those items and put them into Mylar bags and sealed up. And now we're ready to go. Come back and see how we make use of this freeze-dried pumpkin. And if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. This is Sheena. We will catch you on the next one.